Scott Wheeler put his annual top 100 prospect rankings out for The Athletic, and I think it was the episode I did solo. We talked about the Islanders jumping up to 12th. They went, I think it was 31 to like 24 to 12, and if things break right, they could get even higher than that. But point being, in this top 100, there are not only 5 Islanders prospects in the top 100, which is a welcome surprise. There are 5 in the top 34.
Yeah. 5 of the top third of the best prospects right now currently linked to NHL teams. So we're not talking about like the Gavin McKennas or anything like that, because they're not linked to an NHL team yet. Belong to the New York Islanders, which is just mind-blowing from where we were last year, right? This time last year, it was our best prospect was Alex Jeffries by a country mile, and Alex Jeffries still a good player, but the ceiling for him was always going to be middle six winger at best. That's the ceiling. Whereas now you got guys like, as you said, Matthew Schaefer, who's going to be could be a very well a number one defenseman that could play up to 30 minutes a night.
Number 1 on the list is Matthew Schaefer. Victor Ecklund is 21. Cal Ritchie, who the Islanders, as you know, the Islanders got in the Brock Nelson trade, 31. Cole Eiserman, who they drafted in the first round last year, 32. And Kahan Herson is number 34.
I'm loving that Kahan Herson pick just more and more every day. Obviously, the Victor Ecklund one, great. Matthew Schaefer, obviously great. But Kahan Herson is going to be... I think is going to be something pretty special. I'm not saying like Norris-worthy defenseman, but I'm saying like in your hearts, you're going to love this kid.
So it fits our brand here at Up the Turnpike, because we're both big. You'll understand this, what I'm going to make in a second. But when Stefan Rosner was on, I asked him what he thought about Kahan Herson, and he called him an English-speaking Alex Romanov.
Perfect. Yep. Love me, Romy. Love me.
Right. Like, again, which we are both big Alex Romanov guys here on the pod. So adding another guy with that physicality to the group too, and, maybe he's a second pair guy, right? But there's still value there when you have the first overall pick who you were hoping is a top pair guy. And then, if Schaefer, Aitchison, and Romanov are your 3 lefties in a couple of years, if all pans out the way that we think it can, would be exciting.
It would be very, very exciting. And they're all about to graduate to the NHL around the same time, right? Like, that's going to be exciting for this team as we have guys moving out. Like, that's the whole point of having a healthy prospect pool. As Mathieu Darche indicated when he was hired in the first place, like, I want to have a pipeline that feeds into the NHL. And maybe these guys like Cole Eiserman and Kahan Herson don't immediately go to the NHL at the exact same time next, like 2 years from now, if you will. Or next year, I guess. Sorry, not the 25-26, but the 26-27 season. They're not far away. And we're going to have guys coming off the roster by 25-26, as you mentioned, Jean-Gabriel Pageau, Anders Lee off the roster. We're going to have Kyle Palmieri the year after that. And then in terms of defensemen, like, maybe we don't have expiring contracts coming off the books necessarily, although you're going to have Tony DeAngelo coming off the books. You have other players that you could then start moving around. Like, who else we got? Adam Boquist has an expiring deal. That's whatever. That's fine. You can probably move Adam Pelech. You might be able to move Scott Mayfield at that point, although you're going to have to give up a lot to do it. But you've got guys moving. And we still haven't talked about Isaiah George stepping into the lineup too. Like, there's a ton going on here, man.
No, there is. And I like Isaiah George a lot. I want him to find a way onto this roster and get some playing time, because I still believe in him. And maybe it's him playing on the right side, honestly. Maybe. Like that might be his easiest path. Just if we're assuming that Matthew Schaefer is making the Islanders, which I guess we can't yet. But if it's Schaefer, Pelech, Romanov as your 3 lefties, and then you have DeAngelo, who's going to be a regular, Pollock's going to be a regular, and then it's kind of down to that last spot. Is it Mayfield? Is it Boquist? Or could we toss Isaiah George in there? I think George gives me the most upside.
Absolutely, 100%. And it's all to say that the change in this prospect pool that happened overnight, by accident, really. We weren't supposed to win first overall. We weren't supposed to trade Brock Nelson, if you even believe in Lou Lamoriello. These things happened. We were forced into those positions effectively. And so that's why I go back to what we were saying about the Ilya Sorokin trade rumors. The rebuild is done. We picked up our players. We got 3 first-round picks this year. We have Callum Ritchie. That's 4, right? And you have a few other prospects to round that out in terms of your Alex Jeffries, your Isaiah George. We're good. We don't need to go and tank again. If it happens to happen, fine, whatever. Like you said, we have 2 first-round picks already. But if not, you have 2 first-round picks to start making acquisitions, young acquisitions to help your team advance lickety-split.
No, exactly. And then I feel like if a young player becomes available, or if there's a certain, scenario where you feel maybe a little bit more comfortable moving pieces, like it just gives you ammunition or the ability to do things that they didn't previously have.
Yeah, man. And so like just looking at those prospect rankings, you got 31, 32, 34, right? In Callum Ritchie, who's 32? Cole Eiserman. And then you have Kahan Herson, right?
Yep.
I feel like that might be a little bit low for Cole Eiserman. Sorry. That might be low based on what I think Cole Eiserman's ceiling is, but I get it based off the season he had last year, right? Playing mainly like 4th line for BU and then obviously chipping in with offense. I think he's going to jump higher than that this year. I think he's going to have a big year for BU as they play him routinely in their top 6. And I think he's going to go off.
I'm here for it. I'm not selling my Cole Eiserman stock. I know, like, when he was scoring goals, other fans obviously really excited. It feels like with the new blood of prospects that we got in here, he's getting a little bit pushed down the pecking order a little bit. Yeah. But I still think the goal scoring potential is there, and I just hope we see it at the NCAA level this year.
Yeah, because he's got that goal scoring potential of guys like Oliver Wahlstrom and Kiefer Bellows. But what I feel he has over them is that competitive level. Sure, he's got a bit of swagger. Oliver Wahlstrom certainly had that. I remember having his fight with PK Subban and like sticking his tongue up, type of thing. But he's just more physical and rounded as a player, it seems, than the other two were when they were at their peaks at this level. And I think that's going to lend itself well as he moves up the roster and has a higher role. We'll see if I'm right or wrong, but I just feel like he's about to go off in that 32 overall ranking. While completely understandable, I think he's going to be higher than that come next year, or if you did that ranking again next year.
That would be really exciting. I would like that, and I'm hoping for that. With Victor Ecklund at 21, we haven't talked about him yet, but I feel like we should because he just signed his ELC today too. That's
right. So he signed for at least 3 years through his ELC, max ELC $975,000. He's not coming over to North America. He made that very clear that he will play in Sweden, which is perfectly fine. And then, he's just going to hopefully dominate there, which is going to be dope. And then that contract gets pushed 1 more year. So we have 3 years after next one, really.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to say. I understand those who see the ELC get signed and they go, oh, maybe he's coming over to Bridgeport. I don't expect that to happen right now. But, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time if we see him, come over after his season ends and then maybe starts next year in Bridgeport.